I'm walking across the parking lot and kissing my money goodbye. Oh, Jerry's. It doesn't get much better than this. I don't know about you. When I go to these stores, I get a little overwhelmed, and sometimes I forget completely about what I originally came to get. So I have to have a list. And in all fairness, even if I have a list, half the time I come home with something that I didn't realize that I needed before I got there. Okay, let's get to it. Today I'm going to review a Prismacolor 52-piece coloring set. And as you can see, it comes in this nice box with the colors on the back. It lists all the supplies that are in here, and it shows that it is safe and uses no rainforest products in the pencils. So the first thing I was kind of excited to see was this set of markers. Actually, it ended up to be two separate sets. This sharpener, specifically for Prismacolor pencils, and two sets of Prismacolor pencils. One of them that seems to be appropriate for oceans, which is this one, and the other one that seems to be appropriate for coloring the outdoors. It also comes with a sheet of 3 separate images that you can color with the set. So I opened everything up and put it all out in front of me since I haven't used it before. And as you can see, there's 2 separate tins of the pencils. There are the 2 separate sets of the markers, and that's a picture from my book that we're going to be coloring today. And I was a little confused at first because the markers do look similar, and the colors are relatively bold that they said. Oh, that picture is from my book, Everyday Magic. So anyway, back to the set. What I discovered quickly, and I didn't realize at first, was that the set on the left contains markers that have these dual sides, and the marker that I used in the orange has a nice brush set, and this marker has a chisel nib. So 12 of the markers have brushes, 12 of the markers have nibs. And here is my first mistake in coloring this picture. What I wanted to do is use exclusively only this set for this coloring job, and possibly a Signo on top, for white highlights. So the colors actually are very bold, very nice, and as you can see, I started to color in those flowers in purple, and I instantly panicked because it was so dark and so bold. And I have to say, the pens work really nicely. The points are soft, but not too soft. The colors flow really nicely from the pen. But oh, the panic I felt right here, because I'm not that familiar with markers as a medium to begin with. And these seem to be super pigmented. And the colors that they put in this set are very, very primary colors. So I felt I was a little limited, and I wasn't quite sure how to incorporate these very bold markers with the pencils that they gave. So anyway, long story short, I was like, well, I kind of got myself into it at this point, and I didn't want to say, let's start it over, I screwed up. I wanted to see what I could do with this set to make it completely fair. So here we go with a very dark purple from the brush pen side. And oh look, here's another mistake. I took a pink, which I kind of thought was like cotton candy pink, and then when I put it on the paper, it was not cotton candy by any stretch. What is this? It's almost like a dark carnation. So I was not happy with this choice either. So anyway, but I'm going to get back to the review, because in another video, I'm going to put out the whole thing for anyone who wants to watch me do this whole picture. It's very long, it's over an hour, but I will put this out. Oh, now here's me attempting to correct the mistake. But let me get back to this set. I would say I was a little bit disappointed in the colors they chose because, for instance, the yellow and the orange were repeated on both the brush and the nib side. So rather than giving more of a variety, you had two different nibs to use. So right here, I'm using the yellow in the brush, but I quickly realized that it was also available in the nib, and I colored the base of the tree stump. So at this point, I was in a little bit of a panic because I wasn't loving the picture, and I decided to do the tree stump in pencils. So the browns were limited, so I did a very light one and then a light brown, and then went over it with some mossy greens and a light sienna. The greens and the orange in the set are beautiful, and they go over the markers exceptionally well. The markers are alcohol markers, and I also learned something very quickly, that Prismacolors are, meaning Prismacolor pencils, are pretty amazing. They blend probably like no set that I've ever used before, and it was very telling when I was doing these poppies. I wanted to do these flowers in the pencils because I did the other flowers in the markers and wasn't happy with the results. So I blended yellow, orange, and actually poppy red, and then blended it with a Prismacolor blender, and you can see it's amazing how these things blend and remain bright. So I'm just showing you very quickly how pretty the pencils even go on top of the Prismacolor. They're wax pencil, and the nightmare of the bloom doesn't seem to be apparent here. Okay, now here I'm going over my quote-unquote mistake with a gray pencil that's in the set, and I really like the results. So right about here, I realized that this picture was, I'm going to make the best out of it because the colors in the set, although I'm not used to using them, I quickly got used to using them because they are so bright and vibrant. Now I used a light blue around the perimeter of the fox here. And right about here, I realized that the colors were actually gorgeous together. And I should have been listening to my own self and saying, if you don't like the picture, just keep on going. You're probably not finished. So this blue brought the whole image together at this point, and I was all gung-ho. And I knew at this point, it took me this long to realize what the picture was going to look like. But it just goes to show you, just keep on going, because you never know what it's, even a huge mistake could end up looking like. And I also decided right about here that I was going to give this set away as a pre-holiday giveaway. And there will only be two ways to enter. That is if you follow me here on YouTube. So if you want to enter, just hit the subscribe button and the bell so you're always notified of my videos and giveaways. Or you can follow me on my Dia Lenihan Coloring Gallery on Facebook. If you're already a follower or a subscriber, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And all you have to do is like my video and leave me a comment below and let me know. This is going to be a quickie contest. I'm going to end it the day after Thanksgiving at noon. So enter quickly, you don't want to miss it. Now here I took some dark Prismacolor pencils, obviously, and I was going over the very the very thick gray that I put over the very dark purple to see if I could salvage those flowers and to make them look remotely pretty. So I was trying to add some dimension and keeping my fingers crossed. It also showed me that Prismacolor pencils, once again, are pretty forgiving and they do blend amazingly well and they can accept layer after layer of product. And at this point, I was adding some of the darker violet colors and the darker blues around the perimeter of the main little foxy here and on the bottom of the tree stump, just to make it look beautiful. I actually wanted to see if I could finish this and not just make it look okay despite the mistake, but I wanted to make it look gorgeous if I possibly could. So I crossed my fingers and I really thought this through a little bit and decided that rather than just make it a light blue sort of little fox sitting in the sun, I thought I would make it a little more intense and see how it came out, since the colors were intense anyway. There is a whole lot of detail that I'm not showing here, and that'll be in the longer video that I'm just going to put out alongside of this one. There's a whole lot going on, and a whole lot of decision making. I went back and forth, and I figured it would be fun to show you in the other video. So I learned a lot about Prismacolor today, especially the pencils. I had always said that they are very soft, and yes, they don't hold a point as well as other brands, but it's simply because they're incredibly creamy and incredibly soft. And after going through this entire image with only Prismacolor products, I have a new appreciation for them and the absolute intensity of their pigment. Also, there's something absolutely luminous about the results using these pencils. And I have to say, I do like the background that I was able to get with the markers. And they are alcohol markers, so they're just like all alcohol markers. There is some type of, I can't even say it's a terrible smell. It's just an alcohol smell when you use them, so just be aware. But what I didn't like in the beginning worked out really well for this because it's probably not something that I would normally have done. So now another test. I took Turpenoid and I wanted to see what these colored pencils looked like blended. And wow, it comes out like a gorgeous watercolor almost type of paint. And you could see more of that in the longer video. I didn't open up the sharpener from that set because I decided that I did want to give away the set. But I had to sharpen several of the pencils several times. And the set that I'm going to be giving is the set that I used in this video. So be aware, but I try to keep the integrity of it as much as I possibly could. So I had so much fun with this set after almost having a heart attack and ruining the picture and going over it with Signo white and then going over the white and then completely changing it and blending it with Turpenoid. I ended up loving the way this picture came out. I'm so surprised. And I would recommend this set. It's not a complete Prismacolor anything, meaning it's not a whole set of markers, it's not a whole set of pencils, but what a cool combination of everything. So, and it does come with 3 pictures, but I used mine because I liked mine better and I'm partial to them, obviously. So fingers crossed for all of you who entered. This was a really fun set. Here's the results. I ended up, as you can see, going over the blue even more, and then I added even more. to the background. And once again, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enter this contest because this is such a fun Prismacolor. It's a great intro to Prismacolors. So once again, either subscribe to me here and hit the bell, or find me on Facebook and follow me on the Dia Lenihan Coloring Gallery, or join us all there. It's such a nice, warm, friendly group of people. It's almost like a family. It's a fun family environment. So it's a Quickie giveaway. It ends this Friday at noon, the day after Thanksgiving, and we'll quickly find out who the winner of this set is. And I hope you subscribe to me here, hit the bell, and thank you to all my followers. I really appreciate it, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.